Hello, is this thing on? Hey guys, what's up? It's your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz, back at you again with another video, and whoo, we have a long one. Yes, I'm saying it's gonna be long. You can leave now, okay? I don't know how long, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30, alright? Maybe more. This is the Aang video that I've been waiting to do forever because y'all got me messed up. Welcome again to my All About Avatar series, all about Avatar Aang. Alright? He is my favorite character in the show. I know. There's this unwritten rule that you're not supposed to like the main character if that main character has this like Superman-esqueness about them. I used to do that, which is why Guitar was my favorite, and then Top was my favorite, and then I just didn't have a favorite. But now it's Aang, because he must be protected. And yes, I hate that I have to protect the little boy, but y'all just doing the most. And it's not the old fans, it's the new ones. So, Aang is an orphan from the Air Temples who found out he was the Avatar at age 11 or 12, probably 12. And he didn't like that because all of his friends decided that he was too powerful despite him not knowing any other level of bending to play with, and they were going to take him away from his guardian, who was the only friend he had left, so he ran away. Upon running away, he got caught in a storm. To protect himself, the Avatar state waterbended him into a block of ice with Appa. A lot of years passed. He woke up because Katara freed him from the ice by accident. And there comes the beginning of the show we know and love. Now, why am I making a video about Aang? We know why he's great. I'm making a video about Aang because you don't know why he's great. You think you know why he's great. You don't know. You don't know. Look. When it comes to Aang, and this is just me being very honest, I never thought that I would have to defend him. And here's why I never thought I'd have to defend him. Because when I heard the problems that y'all have with him, I realized, oh, y'all are weird for real. Because to be honest, I'm okay with Aang not necessarily being anybody's favorite character. And I'm very much okay with, people having opinions that people or whatever. But my problem is that y'all are deciding to forget certain things. I should have brought this up in my Suki video, but I forgot. And it isn't anything that happened in the show. It was a separate thing. This person made a, a pseudo-therapy video talking about Suki. And in that video, she brought up that Suki is always smiling through everything. And so Suki is strong. And that makes her a better character. And there was something about the way that she spoke about her happiness through her hardships, That person made the claim, right? that person made the claim that, whatchamacallit, that Suki needed less therapy because of how well adjusted she seemed to be in the show. And all I could think was, this is very similar to what happens with Aang. Not completely, but it was very similar. And that's why I didn't bring it up in the video, because they were just letting me talking about Aang, and I wanted to focus on Suki for at least 10 minutes straight. So 5 minutes of that video might be me talking about other people in relation to Suki, but I made sure I got a good 10 minutes just talking about Suki for the most part. You guys tend to think that because Aang was so jovial and jokeified at times, that he didn't really go through anything. I've heard you guys say, and this is the new fans mostly, that Korra went through more than Aang. Can we stop? There's going to be a fan cam in my guitar video where you'll see some words in front of some of her actions. One of the words is, saved the avatar line. What does that mean? That means that Aang died in the avatar state and she used spirit water to bring him back to life. That means that he died. That cancels out everything Korra has been through. I'm lowering my voice because I don't want to scream. But yes, he has gone through more than Korra. I will list them out for you. Okay? I will list them out for you, since you guys need me to list it out. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever had to list out, but I'll list them out just for you. Okay? So, number 1. When he was alive, he started losing friends because he was the avatar. Let's just say that, because I've never even thought about it that way. But you'll see, as soon as he found out he was the avatar and everybody else knew, they were like, I don't know about hanging out with Aang. That's an unfair advantage. He started losing friends before that all his friends died because of the Fire Nation. His father figure died because Aang is technically an orphan. I'm not fully sure how the air temples work. You saw that he was born from somebody, but then they just corralled all the male kids in one place and corralled all the female kids in another place. And he ain't got no actual parents, so Monk Gyatso was his dad. Everybody he knew was dead except Bumi. And to be honest, they should have capitalized on the emotion of that, but like I said, it's a kid's show. So there was a level of brightening up the darkness that they had to do to make it make sense. I think that you guys don't even think about that either. Y'all love to bring up that it's a kid's show for certain things, but then when people like Aang and Mei, y'all forget it's a kid's show and then just end up saying the weirdest things. And that's just me being nice. Anyways, so so let's see. Lost all of his friends due to becoming the avatar. Okay. Sorry, let's say all. Lost majority of his friends in the air temple due to becoming an avatar. Had all of his nation die. Okay. Feels guilt because he ran away. Okay. Has to try and stop a war that was started before he was even born. Was murdered by the daughter of the Fire Lord. Yes, Azula did kill him. Oh, that's about it. I know, it doesn't seem like that much, does it? It really doesn't seem like that much until you put it all together. Oh, how can I forget? Lost Appa for over a month. Yes, this is actually the one time in the show they contextualized time, apart from like when his hair started to grow out. Appa was gone for over a month. Now, people would say, she's had to defeat world-ending villains. Trust me, if Azula could be world-ending, she would be. Okay? Relax. She got poisoned. She almost died. Aang actually died. Aang actually lost hundreds of people. Aang actually doesn't even know who his parents are. So when people like y'all and Katara want to act like Aang don't understand and Korra is so much more hurt, it's a lie. One of the reasons that y'all believe that, and I'll give y'all an excuse now. I'll give y'all an excuse, is because the show liked to lighten the trauma. Now, how do they do that? They lighten the trauma with the coloring, alright, with the jokes, and with Aang's overall attitude. They used all of that to lighten the mood of the show. Because they couldn't just have Aang moping all day, remembering that all of his friends are dead. All my friends are dead. Push me to the air, put me to the air. Which is why I really like what they did with the Appa thing. Even though it took me a long time to rewatch those sequences of episodes. The Appa thing contextualizes how Aang really feels inside. And let me explain that. You think he was just mad only about Appa? Think. Losing Appa was the last straw. Losing Appa made him really feel how much he had lost. How much was weighing on him. It's one of the reasons why he became more serious and less jokified. So when he lost Appa, he was like, oh my god, I really have nothing. And this is not to say that Sokka and Katara and Toph are nothing. It is to say that he has lost all of the ties to the life he used to have. Appa was the last thing he had that connected him to his culture. And to see like in season 1 that he just had to be okay with them tearing down his temple just so that they could live there, the little grifter people. He just had to be okay with that. That was a whole plot point. And I'll get into that later. When Appa went missing, he realized that, wow, he really don't have nothing else. He don't have nothing else. And he broke down and became cold. That amount of time Appa is missing, I'm sure Aang has at least one body. At least one. Unintentional. Unintentional meaning, while he was probably raging out one time, somebody probably got hurt and or died. Somebody probably got hurt and or died. And it's understandable. I'm defending Aang because y'all are talking lies now. I've already proven, right, that he's been through more than Korra, so you can stop now. You can stop lying. You can enjoy Korra, and you can say you like her, but don't lie. Because if you lie, I'm going to debunk it right here, right now. Stop lying. Thanks. This has been an argument for a year, and I'm glad I'm going to be one of the few people to put out a video out there discussing this, I guess. Anyways, let's get into other things that are probably loosely related. Let's get into him liking Katara, because y'all think that Katara would be better off with Zuko. I'm probably going to go more in depth in this in my Katara video. I'll probably end up making that video be more positive by just focusing on Katara's relationships. Yes, I'm that person. I'll do that. I think that they were good together because they make sense. They have a level of commonality that works. I don't want to hear the whole Katara was his mother thing. Katara is everyone's mother. The only person she never acted motherly towards is Jet. And I haven't really heard many people saying that they should have stayed together. So please shut up. Thanks. Thanks. And when did she start to show more love and affection towards him in a romantic way? When she stopped having to mother him. So they weren't motherly toward the trajectory of their entire relationship. Thanks. She stopped mothering Sokka at some point, she stopped mothering Toph at some point, and she stopped mothering Aang. So relax. The mothering was a progression of her arc, which was needed because they were all very young and green and bright-eyed in the middle of this war, and as they all became hardened, they all grew up a little. It happens. Okay? I think Katang is a very good ship because it makes sense and it's good to see. It's wholesome. It makes you feel good. You want Aang to succeed. You want him to get the girl. Why not? Aang is a great person. You think Zuko deserves Katara? I think, all y'all who love Katara so much, I think Katara deserves somebody that doesn't have blood on their leisure. Let's be honest. She deserves somebody who doesn't have to change who they are to be with her. She deserves somebody that she doesn't have to worry about. She don't gotta worry about Aang. To this day in the comics, y'all gotta worry about Zuko. And I should have brought that up in the Suki thing as well. What was happening between him and Suki, but I didn't want to be upset about that. I wanted to be positive, so I didn't bring it up. Aang deserves happiness. He deserves love. So I'm glad he had that with Katara. Also, Aang loves Katara so much that he stunted his own bending growth. It's just something else to make Aang look so good. When Aang was first learning how to waterbend, Katara was teaching him. And during that point in time, he was learning very fast. Some say it's because he's the Avatar, others say it's because he's the Avatar and because of the element he grew up with. Him being an airbender makes it easier for him to learn water. I believe that side of it more than he's the Avatar, because we saw Korra. Okay, things don't always come easy to you just because you're the Avatar. I believe that because he was an airbender, it was easier for him to pick up water. He was so good at it that it was frustrating Katara. I'm not going to bring this up in her video because I don't want to be that negative, so y'all better be happy about it, but this is to Aang's credit. As soon as he realized that his progression was making Katara upset, he stopped. Now, look, watch the show back. I swear to you, I swear. If I can find a fan cam of it, I might put it in. If not, I'll just say it. He was learning waterbending like this. Snip, snip, snap, like fast. And then as soon as Katara was like, oh, why don't you just do it yourself? You're so naturally gifted. He was like, oh, shoot. She doesn't like that I'm learning this fast. Let me stop. This is the one problem with him liking Katara so much. Because I've heard lots of people, new people, not old people, heard lots of new people who watch the show be like, like when Katara is beating everybody up in the Northern Water Tribe and Aang is just there making snowmen. And they're like, why is he joking around? Blah, blah, blah. Number one, he's joking around because he's 12. Number two, he's also joking around because he is aware that if he takes it too seriously, Katara will be upset. So because think about it, right? Because people are like, oh, Katara is so much better at waterbending than Aang. No, Aang just stopped trying, so she learned faster than him. It could also be that Master Paku was just a great teacher for Katara, and maybe if Aang was trying, maybe he wouldn't have got it. Maybe it is just that Katara is the best teacher for him, but I don't personally think so. Sorry. So, and it's fine. We want Katara to teach him waterbending, so it works out for everybody. But guys, just remember that the show showed us that he has more propensity for waterbending than Katara does. Is easier for him to pick things up. So the fact that he stopped learning so quick is because he decided to. You can see when he was learning other elements, right? Like when he was learning earthbending, he couldn't really joke around very much with that. And I know you guys can say it's because it was tough. And you think Master Paku was softer than Toph? To me, I feel like either Toph is softer than Master Paku, or her and Master Paku are the same level of tough. But there is no way in hell that Master Paku was allowing Aang to slack off. Stop. He stopped learning fast on purpose so that Katara could progress. And that is a testament to him because he wanted her to feel good. He wanted her to be a master before him. He wanted her to have an edge over him so she could feel better about herself. Now, she grew out of it, and I'm glad, because that was really annoying to see her being that insecure, because she is a strong and powerful waterbender, one of the most powerful out there. However, Aang did dilute his abilities so that she could go before him. And y'all just gotta be okay with that, because it's obvious. Because if Aang really took it real serious, he would have been the waterbending master before they even met Toph. Let's be very honest. Okay? Okay. What's next? Him and Toph. Let's discuss that. I've heard some people say that it would have been cute if him and Toph were together. And I understand that, but that's only because they're very similar in age. They're not very similar in many other ways, though. They work together in terms of a dynamic. If they were going to be together, they have to write it very specifically. Not saying it would be bad, but it would be interesting. But it could also be very, very bad, though. Put relationships out the way. I loved his dynamic with Toph in terms of the training. Because when Aang... When Aang be earthbending, bro, he just has this, like, this look of, I'm him, you know? Like, I'm him. I'm that earthbender. I'm him. I just love Aang. He just does it for me. I'm gonna see if I can find that scene and put it, like, either while it's playing or right now. Let me see if I can put it in right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I had a dip in the audio that I was just gonna put it in right there. But anyways, there's this scene where where Katara and Toph are, like, trading with him, and he's just doing all sorts of stuff. And there's also this scene in season 2 after they get Appa, where they're going to get to the Earth King. Peak Aang earthbending moments. Peak. I loved his dynamic with Toph because it was good to see, okay, when he's not being babied by Katara, you know, soft teaching, what does it look like? How does he react? I'm not one of those people that need to see him grow up, so that's not why I liked it. I didn't like it because finally someone's forcing him to take it seriously. Okay, you know, I'm going to talk about that when I'm done with that because y'all annoy me. You really do. But it was so great to see their dynamic and to see Toph teach him seismic sense. That's what it's called when she feels the vibrations of the earth to get her surroundings. It's called seismic sense. I love her teaching him seismic sense, her teaching him that in order to be an earthbender, you have to be really courageous and be able to stand up to things. And, you know, Aang has a level of insecurity that Toph beat out of him, you know? That we love to see that. We really do love to see that. Let me see. Yeah, let me bring it up now. There's this conversation that's been happening among some of the new Aang people who've been watching Avatar, where Aang is way too childish. And to that I'll say, I understand. However, when I was starting to watch shows like Spy X Family, I thought Anya was really annoying in the first few episodes, because the show portrayed her to be a little smarter than she would sometimes act. And so sometimes I would be like, why in the hell would she do that? When she's smart enough to know this. Like, for example, spoilers for Spy X Family. She's smart enough, due to her powers, to know that Lloyd is a spy. But she would still go into his gadgets and send out a message. I thought that was beyond annoying. Not because she was a kid enough, but because they showed differently. To me, there was a difference between her being shown to just be a kid and that's it, and her being shown to be a kid with a level of street smarts. How do you have enough street smarts to know he's a spy, I can't tell him, or he might put me back in the orphanage, to using his spy equipment and putting all of y'all in danger? And you want to know what people who have been watching the show along with me have told me? My cousin specifically. She was like, Siren, she's just a kid. And I used to roll my eyes because it didn't matter to me. And here's why. Because the show showed us, and they keep doing it. I don't care anymore because I'm letting it go like y'all should let it go. Because unlike Spy X Family, in Avatar it got better. In Spy X Family, I don't think it's going to get better. Especially since they tend to use Anya's childish moments for comic relief. I'm not going to get away from that anytime soon. But y'all are going to get away from it. I was told that she was a kid, right? And so that's why she would do the dumb stuff. And to them, right? She's a kid, so it doesn't matter how smart she is 1 second. She's allowed to be dumb next because she's a kid. Now I know. Doesn't make any sense to me. To me, I believe in the laws of what you say. If you say this, it means this. And this has certain rules. You cannot jump out of the rules that this has just to be like, well, she's a kid, so I guess we could just lean into that even though it doesn't make any sense. To me, I hate that. But I took it because you know what? Fine. She's a kid. Y'all gonna have to take that Aang's a kid too. Sorry. But he's the Avatar. He should understand that he has a big responsibility. He does. That's why he ran away. Do you guys understand that him running away from being the Avatar is a direct reflection of him understanding how serious it is? Oh my. Think about it for a second. Aang running away from the responsibilities of being the Avatar when he realized the impact it was going to have on his personal life is a direct reflection of him understanding how serious it is. In contrast, Korra never really understood how serious it was to be the Avatar. That's one of the reasons why things kept coming at her so hard, because she didn't get it. She wanted to be the Avatar so bad that she didn't realize how hard it was going to be. Aang knew how hard it was going to be immediately. And that is why he had the attitude he had at first. I'm gonna need y'all to understand that. That's what I'm gonna need. So, I'm just saying that to say, if I have to live with Anya being childish, and unlike Avatar, she's not gonna have an arc where she becomes not that childish unless the show goes on forever and I get to see her grow up, which means I probably might have to go 5 seasons of this anime watching her do childish mistakes with the contrast of her doing things that wouldn't make sense for a kid. I'm gonna have to deal with that. So y'all just gonna have to deal with 1 season of him being a little childish. Deal with it, please. Because it's fine. And I will say this, unlike Anya, him being childish makes sense. Sorry. His level of childishness makes more sense than Anya's. I won't say it's completely perfect, but his level of childishness makes way more sense than Anya's. And if we're contrasting his characters within the show to make it more fair, Iroh had his childish moments in the first season as well. Like hella childish. Like it would be serious. And he'd be like, but tea, but food. But everybody loves Iroh. And I love him too, but like, y'all are just hypocrites sometimes. They'd be like, "Aww, look at Iroh. Protect Iroh at all costs. Oh, he's so funny." But then when Aang does it, and this is me talking about a specific reactor, he literally watched Iroh do something ridiculous and thought it was endearing, and then watched Aang do something very similar in the same episode and rolled his eyes because he thought it was childish. So a kid isn't allowed to be childish, but an almost 50-odd-year-old man is? Sorry, I don't agree with that. So if I take Anya, you have to take Aang. And trust me, with Aang, it's a lot shorter of a wait for him to quote-unquote get over it. Y'all need to relax. And this comes into part with something else. The whole thing of like season 1, get over season 1 to get to the good parts. Shut up. You want to know what season 1 is? Character development for everyone except Azula and Toph and Mei and Ty Lee and them. It is character development for Iroh, because Iroh got more serious because he was childish as well. It was character development for Aang because he made some big mistakes and he learned from them. Concepts Korra doesn't fully grasp. Character development for Sokka, he turned from a sexist to a feminist. Character development for Katara, she went from insecure to a master. Alright, character development for Zuko, he went from Aang obsessed to learning more about what the Fire Nation had actually done to the world. Please stop saying that a show like Avatar has skippable seasons. Stop. Even I had to get on myself for thinking that there were skippable episodes in season 2. I know, crazy, right? But I didn't want to watch Appa's Lost Days over again, or Zuko Alone, because those episodes were super duper sad to me and made me feel away. But then I realized that those are just great character development episodes, so I don't skip them anymore. Think about it, guys. Think about it. I'm serious, just think about it. God. On a more positive note, I love Aang's relationship with Sokka. Their brotherhood and their camaraderie is actually an arc. In the beginning, Sokka did not really like Aang. And it was understandable because it was a new guy coming out of nowhere, thrusting all the responsibility on them, making them become a team of sorts. Katara was always down. We love her for that. But it took Sokka a minute to warm up. Partially he came just to protect his sister. Not even because he believed in Aang or believed that he could help stop the war. And you could see that he and Aang's relationship grew to the point where they had all these inside jokes together and they were defending each other and they were like each other's best friends. I love that. I love that because you don't normally get to see that very much, like good relationship building that isn't romantic. So I love that. That's why I love this team Avatar. Gang is essential to life, okay? God. I have a lot more to say. Oh, justice for that girl. The girl in the fortune teller episode. I think her name was Mei Mei or something like that. Mei Mei, I think. I felt so sorry for that girl. Because, you know what, girl, I get it. I get it, sis. I get it 1000%. Alright? I feel like she just came at the wrong time. Poor little sis. Poor little sis. However, we love her. And it's fine, baby girl. Let's see what happens in this next adaptation. Rumor is it's not going to be exactly what we thought, so maybe they might, make Aang give you a second or two. But however, he's 12, so the ownership that we could care about is one that has a level of arc and longevity, so you know what, sorry girl. And I might be saying her name wrong, but let's just say the girl with the ponytails. So yeah, this is long, but not as long as I wanted it to be. I had a lot more to talk about. Aang is the best Avatar. Yeah, in my personal opinion. I don't care if we get more backstory on Sozin and Kyoshi and Yang Chen, and I'm not even going to say Korra because I know all of you guys hate him, but it would be interesting if they tried to redact and redo Korra. Aang is the best Avatar in my opinion, and yes, I'm biased because we have this whole story, but from the backstories I've heard of the others, they're way less interesting to me. Do with that as you will. Aang is my favorite character in this entire show. Sometimes it switches off between him and Toph for obvious reasons. Toph is that girl. But I love him, and I'm so glad that I was able to do this video, because it's okay for him to be happy and fun-loving. It's okay. He deserves to be happy. He doesn't have to be depressed all the time to make y'all feel that his arc makes sense. Or I guess if he was sad most of the time, then y'all wouldn't say that Korra has been through more. But I like that he was happy. It was a nice offset. It was showing that even though he had a lot to be upset about, that he really did try to look on the brighter sides of things. He is an optimist, which is very unlike me. But I love him. He did whatever he had to do. And also, Aang is very intelligent, and I can't believe I didn't bring this up. Aang is the type of guy that because he didn't want to kill people, he was very ingenious and would find ways to get rid of people without hurting them. In season 1, he did that thing where he tricked Zhao into destroying his ships, alright? When he was fighting Jet, he used a lot of non-lethal combat, a lot of tricks, I love that about Aang. if it's one thing with Aang, you gonna see the martial arts, you gonna see the fandangles, you gonna see the tricks. Oof, it's just great. So Aang is the type that because he's not just gonna be all brute force with it, he has to find other ways to get rid of people, which makes him one of the smartest avatars to me personally. Because if you watch the show, like his fight with Anji's boyfriend in season 3, where he was just dodging him all the time. That fight in season 1 where Jun was there with her pet smeller thingy, and that scene where he was fighting Zuko. Oh, and when he projected himself with the air, Aang is that fighter. I love watching Aang fight, especially I love watching him train. Aang is that nigga. Aang is that avatar. Aang is that king. He is best character in the show, confirmed. Probably Toph might beat him out every now and then, but we all know why. Him, Sokka, and Toph are like top tier. Top tier. Top tier, I love them. Character development on Swole Soul, because yes, Aang did have character development. There is a striking difference between how he was in season 1 and how he was at the end of the show here. I love him, and he must be protected at all costs. This is a Aang lover account. We don't talk bad about him. We don't. One thing I will give him that's negative is that it was wrong of him to get jealous of Katara and Sokka's dad being around and hiding that note. But however, I know that was a part of character development. We had to show Aang doing something very terrible to show how he could get better from that and learn from that. But I do acknowledge that that was terrible. So see guys, I can be fair. Like, I'm not gonna just hop over that just because I love him. Like, nah, that was terrible. It's one of the reasons why I don't watch Bato the Water Tribe. Because I just hate that so much. But I have to rewatch it because that fight scene between him and Zuko was everything. Yeah. Anyways, guys, this was the Aang video. I'm sure there's a lot more I could say, so I'll probably make other videos about him. I love him so much. Love you guys so much. Alright? Get into your own avatar state and live your best life. Anyways, goodbye, Simmer. Susu. Oh, Bato the Water Tribe. Hate that shit. I drop 30 on this room, we ain't gon' sleep for shit. If I catch you not enough, then it's gon' be some shit.